blinking red dots, and it's at 4.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Miles. Hi, everyone. My name is Shalia Fox, and I'm the co-founder of Fresh Chef Society. As you heard, I'm joined with Miles, my wonderful cameraman in the back. And first of all, we miss you. How are you? I know this is a hard time, and what we're hoping to do today is to bring a little bit of joy in your lives through food. So here we go. You should have gotten a box of wonderful produce from Urban Roots. They're our good friends and great partners, and we're so excited to bring their fresh produce that they've grown to your doors today. So I know that you were also got a video with Rick Lopez from La Condesa, who walked you through how to make a yummy fresh salsa. So we won't go over that today. But what I did want to do is to go over the ingredients in the box, give you some ideas of what you can do with them, and then we're also going to demo how to chop a couple of vegetables and get ready to roast some. Okay, so the first thing, garlic chives. If you smell them, they smell like garlic. They're wonderful. You can do as Rick did, make a salsa. You can also chop them up and put them on top of roasted vegetables, which is what we'll do. You can also throw it in marinades, put it on pasta, really anything that you would put these, which is green scallions in, you can put garlic chives in. Then of course, cilantro, a bunch of yummy carrots. These are beets. Beets, some say that they have a really earthy taste to them and they either don't like them or they love them. They're also very sweet. You can roast them, which is what we'll do today. You can boil them and put them on salads, put them in pasta dishes. You can pickle them. They're really, really, really good for you, good for circulation. But you want to be careful because they will dye whatever surface you cut them on if it's not meant to, if it's not like a wipeable cleaning surface, so be careful. Garlic goes with everything because it's amazing. Jalapenos, you can do salsas, you can roast them, or you can do the fire roasting technique that Rick went over, or you can just throw them in a sheet pan. It's good. A sheet pan and roast them. We aren't going to throw them in our roasted vegetable medley because we're not exactly a spice-loving family. So we're just gonna stick to the squash. We're gonna do a couple of tomatoes. We're gonna do 3 carrots, and then maybe we'll do just 2 beets. So yeah, that's everything. Oh, and then of course we got some really yummy olive oil that we'll use to toss our vegetables in before we roast. You got a bag of potato chips. Actually, these are tortilla chips. They are not potato chips. I'm sure they don't want, Siete doesn't want me to call it potato chips, so forget I said that. And then you got a bag of yummy sourdough bread. We have just been noshing on it since we got it yesterday. I like to cut a tomato, put some salt and pepper on it, and just eat it and let the juices drain all over my face. So you can do that too. Miles, be careful, you're gonna knock the camera down. This is a very homemade video. Okay, first thing. Let's get to chopping. Let me move all this over. And I'm sure by now you guys are all chopping experts, so you don't even need me to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Because maybe there's somebody out there that wants to learn how to chop a vegetable. Okay, so I've got my bowl. This is where we're gonna toss our veggies in. I'm gonna use the yummy olive oil that we got out of our box. We got our pepper and salt. You can use any salt. This is what we're gonna use today. It's just sea salt. I bake with it, I put it in roasted vegetables, I'll put it in marinades. My family has a slight salt addiction, not including me, so we go through a lot of salt, so that's why we keep it in bulk and fairly inexpensive. So with the carrots, you can go through with the peeler and get the outside layer if you want. I like to keep it because I think that the outer, actually I don't think I know, the outer parts of vegetables have a lot of nutrients in them because they've had to basically bulk up and defend themselves from bugs and other kind of critters. So that's really where you're gonna find most of your nutrients. So today we are not gonna peel the outside of the skin, but you can definitely do that if you'd like. Okay, so got a sharp chef's knife just to go over proper knife holding technique. Your pointer finger is up top. That's going to help you maintain control. I'm going to put my other fingers, wrap it around like this. And then my thumb is also helping me control the knife. this is holding the blade. You can do that or you can keep it right here. But the idea is all of your fingers are safely wrapped around the blade, okay? And then your other hand, if you watched Rick's video, he did it so masterfully. His other fingers were tucked in so they didn't end up chopped like the garlic chives he was working on. So I'm gonna keep my fingers tucked in like this. Remove all my stuff. Another good technique, which I didn't do, is you can take a wet rag and put it underneath your cutting board if it's shifting, like dampen, not soaking wet, and it'll keep it stationary, but I'm not going to do that today. So anyway, I've got my fingers tucked in. I'm holding my knife securely. I'm going to put my blade down so it's, again, it anchors my knife down so it's not going all over the place willy-nilly like. And as you can see, I'm not like my technique's not perfect. I'm not the best knife cutter. I'm a home cook. I'm not a chef. I don't think they'd hire me. That's okay. I always worked in the front of the house. I was a server. That's how I paid my way through college. But I did dabble in the back every now and then, but all I did was just like heat up quesadillas and stuff. So anyway, we're gonna keep our chunks fairly big for roasting vegetables, and the big thing is to cut it all evenly. Am I doing good? Miles just told me I was doing good. Thank you, Miles. I'm gonna keep them cut pretty evenly so they can cook evenly. So I'm not gonna cut this whole thing. I'm just gonna do a couple just for the sake of the demo so you guys can get to work on cooking and you don't get bored with me. Okay. So, and next, let's do a tomato. We're gonna do the same thing. This knife is pretty sharp, so it can cut through a tomato pretty easily. But I know sometimes if you don't have a super sharp knife, it ends up like smashing your tomato when you're cutting. So let me grab one more for you to use if you're cutting tomatoes. It's just like a cheapo serrated knife. You can't see because obviously it's not zooming in. Anyway, or not a bread knife, but just this easy serrated end of a knife. Cuts it nice and easy. I'm gonna throw that in too. Maybe I'll do one more. These tomatoes look so good. So another thing that I like to do with tomatoes is I like to make something called a tomato pie. Oof, it's my favorite thing to do in the season. And it's just tomatoes and mayo and cheese and dill, maybe some bacon, and an egg, and it's roasted in the oven, and it is amazing. Okay, let's switch knives. Put that there. Finish doing the same technique so you can see they're all pretty much the same size. These are getting kind of tiny, so I won't cut them in 4s. Instead, I'm going to cut them in 2 to keep the size consistent again. All right, see, 2. All right, and then carrots. So there's a couple of different ways you can cut a carrot. I'm just gonna go with the little ends. I'm not doing a huge amount. See, my ends are super tiny because I want as much as the carrot as I can get. So I'm gonna cut it in the middle, all right? And then I'm gonna half one of the sides, and then I'm gonna cut them again. Again, I'm keeping the outer skin on here because that's a very nutritious part of it. How you doing, Miles?
Good.
Good? Okay. And then last, we'll do the beets. The beets, I keep the skin on too. You can take it off, but I keep it on. I know a lot of people, but you can roast them separately. Another really cool way to do beets is to kind of take 3 or 4 of them, tape a couple of them, and then roast them in some aluminum foil. Close it.
I can zoom in.
You can zoom in. Okay, he's zooming in, he tells me. So you can put them in some aluminum foil, put some salt, pepper, olive oil, seal it, throw it in the oven, and then for 30 minutes, let's say 30 minutes, and then when it comes out, it's super soft and you can peel the skin off. So that's one way to do it, but we're gonna keep the skin on. All right, So again, cutting it even so it's similar in size to our squash. You're gonna zoom in?
Tell me when to zoom in.
Oh, okay. I'll let you know. Miles says he can zoom in. He's already so good at this for our first video. Okay. All right, what we've got here, we've got some beets, we've got some carrots, we've got some squash, and we've got some tomatoes. We got a little mini bottle of a local olive oil company called Conolio, and I'm going to do 2 tablespoons. Let me get some measuring spoons. I was just going to wing it, but let's not do that today. Let's be legit. Okay, so 2. Miles, can you count?
1.
1. We're going to pour it in. 2. And I think that's good, right? Now, I'm not going to measure the salt and pepper. But what I'm doing that you can't see is I'm just making sure the top of my layer is covered with plenty of cracked pepper. That's the one thing I'm going to say. Get you some fresh cracked pepper. It makes a huge difference. All right, salt. Okay, then I'm going to take my hand. You can take a spoon, but I'm going to take my hand. And I'm just going to gently mix these yummy roasted veggies and until they're nicely coated evenly. And then I've got my cookie sheet all ready to go, or your sheet pan, whatever you want to call it, slimed. And then I'm just going to pour these beans in here. Drip, 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 get all the juices. And then I'm going to spread them out, make sure everybody has enough room to roast and to breathe and to be who they want to be in our sheet. Okay, then I'm going to put them in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes and then take them out and let them cool. We're going to eat